My name is Keep Teowili. You might be wondering why my name is Keep. My real name is actually Keef, with F-E in the back, not a P. However, mostly I really hate it when people mispronounce my name because it's often insulting to me. I really don't like people mispronouncing my name. But over the years, it became a common thing for me because I knew that I'm not the only person on the earth to have a mispronounced name. By the way, I'm 15 years old and I'm now a young high schooler. I study at Chandra Kumar School at Tamara Asri. Back then, I was first a middle schooler at high school, another private school in the Teacher Garden complex, where I have been studying there for my whole life from childhood to preteen. Well, transferring was a difficult choice for me, but I think it might be a good chance to start a new school life there. Well, my childhood back then was in high school was pretty tough, and most of the time I could spend most of my time doing some of my own activities rather than just following what the teachers said. I was pretty bored at school, and mostly the only thing I was longing to do is to spend most of my time inside my world, my awesome world. Well, I was way too young to understand and functioning well. Today, I'm improving pretty well because right now I get bigger plans for my awesome world I created. But back then, I was a horrible reader and writer. But right now, I'm a good one. And now, I learned how to keep a diary, a new daily notebook memo I invented. Today, I use my autistic and typical behaviors to show how it shows that an autistic could be both the same like autistic and typical kids. That's why I use the word awesome in a way to describe myself being an autistic and typical kid. Ever since I was in high school, pursuing my dreams was pretty difficult because I was having hard times working on my own project in PDR. This is because I have a pretty difficult time working on my own literary projects, and I really have hard times trying to work on my literary work since most of the teachers at school were way too busy with their own works and spend most of their time dealing with the other high schoolers. The teacher cares too much about what high schoolers do while they were trying to follow the rules. Following rules was part of the high school curriculum because the teachers want the high school to become a better place. This was the time I faced some difficulties with a school and had to survive multiple obstacle courses I faced. My last days at high school were awesome since I managed to have a great party with my high school friends, and I now know that I won't never see that school again once I transfer. My other friends are also transferring to new schools, but my one is different. I transferred to Chandra Kumar School, a private Vietnamese school called Chika. But one day when I graduated, I will graduate with a few subjects I'm least good at and interested at. I also have school goals, but I also have goals for my own plans. You see, since I'm a good writer and artist, all I wanted to do is to work on my own works. Ever since then, I've been spending most of my time working on my own literary and artwork. Awesome Keep. This book is filled with all the memos I collected, and that tells the amazing stories of most of my awesome adventures and misadventures. Of course, I just started doing it, but actually, I haven't really started the whole work yet. I just plan on doing this on the first semester, but I decided to start a new one when mom gave me another during my latest holiday trip from Dubai. I lost the old one, but then I decided that I could make a new one when mom brought me and my siblings a life journal. At first it was complete torture, having to know the content and the purpose of the journal, or I should call it a dior. But then I have the greatest idea to make it fun by turning the life journal into a diary by decorating a few of the contents and the columns for the spaces where I could write about myself. That way, it won't look like a diary or a journal. I'm also a good artist, but I drew most of my pictures on other books, and I will just scan the book and the life journal to the computer. Then I could just make the diary look awesome. So my goals were to achieve my career in drawing and writing, and also to show how the new daily notebook memo and how grateful it looks like. I also want people to learn how to read and write diaries. My MLE encounters dated back when I was just 10 years old. When I first met Miss Youngman, I was pretty rebellious and I never followed rules back then when I was in high school, elementary school. I always thought I could do everything what I wanted to do back as a kid. Today I still think like that, but now not in a fully 100% childish way, because I don't want to do that. I also wanted to learn how to function well through middle school and high school, since I've read so many stories of many students trying to deal with their struggle through growing up into a teenager, then to an adult. I always know these kinds of struggles the ones teenager faces are coming ahead of me. I didn't expect them to come when I was 11 years old. I thought life was typical back then, but thanks to most of the novels giving me knowledge and imagination to form my own, I used the MLE method to help me understand rules in my imagination is to escape the boredom of sitting in a small office with teachers and my mom, watching the session where Miss Shaman is helping me train. Back then, when I was pretty young, about 10 years old maybe, the most difficult part was following the rules. When I was small, I didn't like being bound by the rules. But then was when until today, I want to learn how to find a way to make rules more functioning than the other original rules I've seen and heard. Both the MLE and the films I watch give me some great ideas for some awesome rules I plan to create one day, but maybe someday I might forget. The rules, I don't use them to dominate people who are both typical and special. I use it to show that both typical and special are all the same. I didn't find any part of the MLE pretty interesting. Well, you could know that I've been doing ever since I learned how to behave properly and listen a bit carefully. But I could tell you the least part that seems to be my favorite in the MLE session, it was when most of the time the teachers were trying to figure out how to fix their ways of teaching by Miss Youngman while I watched them. I'm not pretty interested in doing the same old assignments I've done back in my early years at MLE. Well, I mostly focus on the experience in MLE where I fail first and achieve in the end. I use this philosophy of mine to help me overcome the mistakes that I easily get reprimanded for. The MLE really helped my memory progress. Well, the best part was listening to to audiobooks and texts and making questions and answers in them. Well, this is my favorite part when I remember my MLE experiences. As years pass, for job coach, I seem used to it because that's the time when I use my imaginative thoughts to make great snacks. Mostly, Patyan, my trainer and mentor, gave me the ingredients. But after a while, when I decided that I want to make my own, since I've already learned how to make the others. But back then, Patyan did all the work for me. Gave me the ingredients. I don't have imagination. That was before I don't have imagination back then for snacks. Well, I'm not sure what I feel after my whole MLE experiences. I really thank Miss Youngman for helping me go through a few tough things I face and the words I don't understand. And I'm not pretty sure when I will ever date. My name is Keep There With You, the awesomest keep in life.